Welcome to part 2 of the interview with Tony Moclair. I hope you enjoy this one. It was a ripper, and make sure you subscribe and watch out for future episodes. And then the radio, the radio gig, because you were overnight.
I was doing
years
overnight
ago.
for seven years overnights.
Maybe that's why you like to stay up late.
Yeah, that kind of, it does do things to you, I think, yeah.
And so now that you're on in the afternoon,
12 to 3.
12 to 3, 3AW. 693.
Yes, well done. 133693. Yeah,
that's the one. How does your day start there?
Well, I get in at about 9:30, having put stories into a Google Doc. So then we have a meeting at around. We have a meeting at 10, and then decide what stories we're going to pursue. We spin a talkback topic off that. We get an expert to talk about it, or somebody related to the story. And away we go. So we're kind of sandwiched between the heavy news show of Tom Elliott in the morning and Jackie Felgate in the afternoon. Yep. So we're kind of a bit of a respite from the heavy news. So we try to be a bit lighter, which, kind of plays to my strengths, I think. Yeah.
What's is there one thing you've said over the years on there where you go, oh, I shouldn't have said that?
Yes. Everybody has that kind of those kind of moments, and I can't give you one that immediately comes to mind, but I can tell you, never assume that you're not being listened to, or rather, always assume somebody is listening, because it is amazing what gets back to people or what people can hear just completely by accident. I talked about once accidentally throwing out. My wife had a dental plate that she needed to wear, and I accidentally threw it out. And the mother of a friend of hers was. I'm horrified that Tony was talking about intimate details like that on air.
No way.
I know. It's
when you weren't talking about anything in the bedroom.
No,
it was just
exactly. Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
We can if you want.
Well, I'd be horrified, Tony.
Sure,
I really
horrified.
would.
That's probably not a great example, but there is a dump button, and I'm glad to say it hasn't been used too often while I've been on air. There was interviewing Tommy Lee, the drummer from Motley Crue. Jules and I were speaking to him, and he got really shirty because we were not talking about his band Methods of Mayhem, which was a rap band. Right. And we were a rock station. And then, anyway, the interview wasn't going very well. We went to a break and we played Kickstart My Heart, the Motley Crue song, and he was up the line in Sydney and he buzzed down and said, "Man, why are you playing the old stuff? You got to be playing the new stuff." And so we thought, oh, fuck, what are we going to do here? And we go to the second break, and he's still as frosty as ever. And Jules mentioned that he had a song, Anger Management. And he said, is that, what was all that about? And I chimed in and I said, were you perhaps angry that Pamela Lee got rid of her breast implants?
No way.
And with that, we heard the headphones slam on the desk and he walked out.
That was it.
There was no more interview. This is live on air too. And maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. But, no, in hindsight, probably not.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes my editor goes missing, is all I'm going to say on that.
Has life turned out for you from a success, from a prosperity perspective? Would you say your life's been successful?
I guess it depends how you define success, but yes and no. There's been parts that I wish had been better, but then when I look around at what I have, not in just pure material terms, but when I look around at life as it is right now, yes, I'm very happy with where it sits.
Yeah. One thing that really resonated with me lately, because I said you've got the Greek background, so you appreciate Australia. Yeah. But Gary V, I don't know if you're Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, big guy in the US. Yeah. He just says this thing. He said, if you were born in America, he talks about America, so I just relate it back to Australia. If you were born in Australia, then you're in the top 1% of the world. So that is something to be grateful about.
It is so true. I always remember this, or I try to instill this in my kids. The car you're driving is better than the car that the King of England ever got in. For example, 50 years ago, or that the what passes for poverty now, it would have been, you would have looked like a Rockefeller to your great-grandparents, for example.
Yes, yeah.
Somebody might say, well, I'm poor because I've got just a widescreen TV, a mobile phone, a roof over my head. That makes me poor. Well, that's you speak to your grandparents. You don't know what poverty is.
Yeah, no.
And it's an age of true abundance, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And obviously we know it can be a bad thing as well.
Yeah.
But I guess it's all relative, but more importantly, it's all how you frame it.
Yeah. At my grandfather's funeral, so my grandfather died at 92, my dad came out, my grandfather followed with my grandmother.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep, so they all came out.
Yep.
We're all living together.
Yeah.
And my grandfather basically, he was just ended up on the pension.
Yeah.
My grandmother died young, so he then came and lived with us.
Yeah.
And I remember at the funeral, my brother, who's 6 years older than me, just saying that if there's one person that I've met in my life who is successful, who's been successful, he said it's my grandfather, because he came to a new country.
Yep.
The kids came.
Yep.
He's seen grandkids. He's seen great-grandkids. And he was living happy. He was healthy all the way virtually till the end.
Yeah.
And he had enough money to cover whatever expenses. He used to go catch up with some of the oldies, the local plaza, and have coffees and chat. And I thought, you know what? That's a really good perspective way of looking at it. Whereas typically in the Western culture for us, it's just like, well, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
There's always a gap.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're never going to fill that gap.
Yeah, true. And something I saw recently was making the point that you think Elon Musk has, just because he has a lot of money, he doesn't have a lot of problems. He goes to bed at night with exactly the same amount of worries that you do. Granted, he's got a much, bigger, I guess, cushion. But that kind of wealth brings its own kind of problems and complications. So if you just, I guess, take a step back and look at how bad things could be, it definitely helps you reorient your perspective on where you are. Yeah, I think gratitude is immensely underappreciated as a virtue, as a personal virtue and as a social virtue. And, gratitude is something you and I both, I feel for Australia. And it drives me crazy when people knock this country, and given that how good it has been as a place to live for so many people.
Yeah. Who taught you the most in life, without even now at the age that you are, without, so you didn't realise it at the time, but who you look back to and you go, gee, I really learnt a lot from that person? And it doesn't necessarily need to be family. It could be professionally. It could be whatever, whoever.
Oh, look, I've had really good people around me the whole time, I think. Certainly in terms of how grounded I like to think I am morally, that would be from Mum, and courtesy of her deep Catholic faith. That was really profoundly influential. It was great to work with Jules for the time that I did, because he was really driven and disciplined, and had a great, just a great mindset that kind of chafed with me a lot of the time, because I'm not a terribly organised or motivated person. So I kind of, I brought that yin to the yang, if you like, and. Triple M and Austereo in general, although I didn't end on good terms with them, it really was a great place to learn the art of radio. They really, really cared about what they called the product, this kind of abstract thing. It was just words coming out of a speaker, but it was a product.
Yes.
And they certainly, in terms of educating me in the basics of radio, they were great at that.
And then when it comes to radio and interviews, like, what's a favourite person, or what's a favourite interview you've conducted that stands out?
Gordon Ramsay was a lot of fun to interview.
Right.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that started with what could have been a bad question, but he just took the joke and ran with it. And he said he had Michelin stars, and I said, "Is that because your food tastes like rubber?" And he, you can't insult him.
Yeah.
So that was just great and a lot of fun. Even strangely, Donna Hay recently was a lot of fun to speak to. She was delightful. I spoke to Peter Hook from New Order recently, and I've been a huge fan of that band, and the previous band I did was in Joy Division for a long time. So that was a lot of fun too. And I was able to roll out an anecdote that maybe not a lot of people had known, but I knew because of the kind of slightly fanatical interest in his career. And so that just made the interview good. It's a great part of the job. When it goes well, you realise what a benefit and I guess a privilege it is.
I love interviews where if it's a celebrity or someone of some notoriety that doesn't take themselves too seriously, that just goes with the flow and has a laugh. There's nothing worse than having someone who just all of a sudden, just gets offended almost. Yeah. And you see, you sense the atmosphere just change.
Well, Ian Hewitson, because when we were doing the drive show, people would come in and there'd be an interview with us and then an interview with Guido afterwards. Ian Hewitson didn't like all the fat jokes. So I'm really sorry, Ian. It's just where I was at the time.
I can see a trend here. You always go there, don't you?
Yes. And, if I was a martial artist, maybe, but I'm not very good at defending myself, so I wonder why I do that. Yeah, maybe I really do want to get my head punched in. Jeff Fenwick, speaking of which, again, there was a Guido interview with him, and there'd been a platter of food that had been left for a previous show, Dougie and Dunstall, and there was a strawberry on it. And God bless Jeff Fenwick, because I was, mate, you was a loser in the ring, mate, I'll take you apart. Mate, it would be fun to watch you grovel at my feet. What a loser. And it was, and at the end of it, he walks out and he picks up a strawberry and threw it at me.
Yeah, did he?
Better a strawberry than a punch, I always say.
I'll take that.
So, good man, Jeff Fenwick. He's a good man.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Is there one failure in your life that you'd be willing to share? But anything that you can say, okay, this was something that I'd completely messed up, but I'd learned so much from it.
Yeah. There'd be there's a few.
And we've all got plenty.
Yeah, no, we do. Probably the professional, I guess, low point that I felt the most was I did 1 year on the Hot Breakfast with Eddie McGuire and Luke Darcy. And the show had been sold in as me and Eddie, and then I think Luke would chime in, and that's not how it happened. Eddie and I didn't gel at all.
Right.
I think I maybe could have conducted myself better, I think. No, I could have, It wasn't, he wasn't great, I wasn't great.
Yep.
And after a year, I was, quote, taken off the show. So I was sacked, which is never a good thing. And, I was quite depressed after that. The kids were young. Breakfast radio was hard. So that
because it would have been a good gig, right? It would have been like, hey, this is a good gig.
Yeah, well, it was high profile. Yeah. There was a lot of expectation on the show to do well because Eddie's such a big name. He really wanted to do well. He'd just come back from Sydney, and he had been let go from running Channel 9 at that time. So, I guess the thing that brought it undone was kind of his ambition, completely understandable, but just us two not gelling. And so I'd just go into work, and I think there'd be 3-hour shows where I said 4 words generally. So it just, management didn't get involved. It just in terms of how the whole thing worked out. I just wish that had been done differently, and I wish I'd done differently.
Even if you were the one to chime in, even if that was your role, which it wasn't, you would get more than 4 words in.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've been on air with Eddie McGuire, but it's almost impossible to get a word in. He can circular breathe and speak. He can speak for Australia. It's remarkable to watch.
Yeah. There you go. So what would people thinking about Tony Moclair? You've been on ABC and you've been on. Obviously on the radio, a few different varieties of that. When people hear the name Tony Moclair, what sort of legacy do you think you're leaving? Still continuing because it's still on air, right?
Yeah. The legacy of a difficult to pronounce surname. It's Moclair.
Moclair.
Right, Moclair. It is a hard one and it gets a lot of people. The thing people always mention is Guido. So I'm very happy to be known for that because I know it's given a lot of people pleasure. Yeah. And And that is a really good thing. We, Jules and I had no idea that was going to go as big as it did. And as a result, I went all around Australia. I was doing phone-ins as Guido to a radio show in Ireland, believe it or not.
No way.
Which was really strange, and New Zealand. So it was export quality comedy that we were doing. Thank you very much. It's the thing. I'm surprised now, and it was weird when my daughter came out of her bedroom with her iPad, and she was watching TikTok, and she said, "Dad, I see this stuff all the time, and it's you," which is pretty cool. I thought.
Yeah. I didn't know who Guido Hatzis was, and it was only probably, I reckon, the last 12 months.
Oh, really?
That I really found out that it was you. I think I saw it online, and maybe you did it once on 3AW potentially, but
I do it a bit, a little bit here and there. I mean, people will ring up and they'll start calls with "G'day, Guido," which is really sweet.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So you've had this long career, and we talk about prosperity and success. What would a young Tony Moclair? What was young Tony Moclair at the age of 17, 18, thinking prosperity was?
Jeez. I don't think I had much of an idea. I think I had a lot of prejudices about how the world worked or how the world was. Big chip on my shoulder about things. I was very certain of my own attitudes, which describes a lot of 17-year-olds, I guess. Yeah. But, in order to be fair to myself, it had been pretty action-packed 17 years. Between that, it had been emigration, re-emigration, parental separation, death of father.
So your father died young?
Yeah, well, he died at 57.
Young.
So he died when I was 13.
Wow.
And estranged and... when I compare that, let's say, to my to my son's life, Rafe has been in the same house his entire life. The house he crawled in as a kid, and but for 5 months when we renovated. By 17, I think I'd probably lived in about 13 houses by that stage.
Wow.
So I guess I should be fair to the 17-year-old that I was. But in terms of how I saw prosperity, I had a lot of ideas about what I wanted to do. I think I wanted to be an airline pilot, and then I wanted to be a defence analyst and talk about ICBMs.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you'd agree, Ziggy, that... character is destiny. Where you end up is not an accident.
Yes.
So here I am.
Yeah. Here you are.
Yeah.
Well, on Ziggy's podcast.
And I'm very happy to be here.
It's an important point you mentioned when, you're looking at the kids, because it's very tempting to say, you don't know how good you've got it, and that doesn't mean anything to them.
It doesn't
mean anything.
Cut through at all. No, and it's kind of unfair too, and but it's one of those parenting strategies you employ, I guess, because it was employed on you.
Yes,
I'm sure your parents said that to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. What are people in you? Because you're in an industry where, can be cutthroat.
Yeah.
What were you seeing people chasing?
They chase clout.
Clout.
Yeah, that's the big thing in our industry. Chasing or maintaining an audience, which is completely normal and understandable if you're in radio. It's what you should be doing. It's weird because over the journey, especially in radio, I've worked with some very big egos, and when I think of a couple of them, I guess they were chasing greatness and glory, but they were very empty inside, and nothing would have satiated them, if that's the right word. Nothing. It is, I guess, typical with people who are power hungry. There's often a great emptiness on the inside.
Yeah, something they're trying to fill, something they're trying to
some void
cover.
they fill. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. If your children today, in terms of what have you taught them from a money perspective? Because one of the things about managing finances, managing money, we don't. It's not taught out at school.
No.
Parents have potentially have a difficult time teaching them because they haven't maybe learned property? What's been your experience?
Well, it's interesting. We've 2 children, 2 different approaches to money. Our boy is about to go overseas and he has saved at this point about $7,000. That I tried the same thing at his age and I couldn't do it. And even though I was working, I deferred uni just like he has done. I was working 2 jobs. I couldn't do it because I didn't have the discipline or the mindset that you needed or the ability to sacrifice. Mind you, I was living out of home too. He's living at home.
Yep.
But he has that, and my wife and I look at each other and we don't know how we've created a child with that kind of financial discipline.
Right.
Because neither of us have it.
Right.
It is, that gene completely bypassed us. My wife had good modelling from her father. I had terrible modelling from both parents. Neither of them were very good with money. Mum had this kind of, it'll just happen kind of thing. There was no kind of planning, which, God will provide was almost her, which is another kind of financial strategy I'm sure you employ at any stage.
Yeah, I mean,
Ziggy?
look, there's a part of faith, I think, which is good for it to kick in.
I totally agree.
But, even God himself will be saying, hang on,
exactly.
Get out there.
Exactly. There's plenty of parables in the Bible too about, planning for the future.
Yes, sowing seeds.
Yeah. And that's not a knock on Mum. I mean, Mum grew up as a farm girl in Ireland. They weren't neck deep in money at any stage. To have raised a boy who can do that, I'm really proud of his ability to do that. I think it's so fantastic.
Good. Yeah, so good. So good.
But yeah, our daughter, she's a bit more spendthrift and she's definitely got that from her parents.
Yeah, she's still at home as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, like good Greek kids. Yeah. Hey, you're a wog deep down, Tony.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate. Well, listen, I hear the phone ringing.
Yeah.
I think there might be someone.
Oh, not that guy.
Yeah, someone.
Is he?
Hang
He's
on.
called in.
Hang on. Hello, this is Ziggy's podcast, Plan to Prosper. We've got Guido on the line. Guido, welcome.
Yeah, mate, I can't believe I'm doing this quite little podcast, mate, because, mate, you're talking about prosper. Mate, I'm going to prosper with the $9 million you're going to give me for appearing on this crappy little talk fest, mate. Mate, what a loser. All right.
Now, Guido, let me ask you, because you've got an Italian first name, a Greek surname.
Yeah, mate.
So when it comes to managing money, I assume it's all about cash.
Yeah, mate. Mate, the only thing you could manage is a paper bag. Not to put the cash in, mate, but to put it over your head. Mate, do us a favour, please. Make it a radio-only podcast. Mate, except when I'm on, because I'm a very good-looking man, mate.
Guido, you're full of compliments. I love it. So let me ask you a few things. You're the king of Lygon. So how did you become, amongst all the wogs, let's say, the king of Lygon?
Mate, because I'm a very tall, very athletic, very good-looking man, and what they love in Logan Street is humility. So that's what I got, mate. And also, mate, pay up or I'll firebomb you.
It's very topical at the moment. Hey, Guido, just as a last question for you, mate. What financial tip would you give everyone listening?
Don't be a dickhead.
Hey, that's good enough for me. I reckon that's one of the best tips in life. Don't be a dickhead. Hey, Guido. Hey, still there, Guido?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. Thanks. Look, thanks for coming on. Thanks for calling in. I never thought I would have the great Guido Hatzis calling into the Plan to Prosper podcast.
$9 million, mate. Make it cash.
USD, Greek drachma, lira. How do you want it?
Mate, whatever. Just take that paper bag off your head and stuff it in there, mate. And do it now. No bullshit.
Do it now. Thank you, Guido. Well, that was Guido, the great Guido Hatzis. If you're my generation, you would have heard him on Triple M and a whole range of things. He's been around. Tony Moclair.
There it is.
Yeah. Do you get McClair?
I get McClair? The whole Tony Mocbell has been. It's been a long 10 years.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, and I heard you on the news the other day. No, I wasn't running a crime syndicate. No, allegedly. No,
was that Beryl that may have been ringing in? Was it?
God,
Was it
no,
Beryl that was
was
asking?
just so many people would. I'd just be called Tony Moclair all the time.
Tony Moclair.
Yeah.
I like
anyway,
that.
I wouldn't mind his, let's say, financial position.
That's right. Although you wouldn't want maybe the target that's on him.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think he's going to make a lot of money when he sues the state government. I believe he's doing that over his bashing in jail.
Yes.
So anyway, but so that's been... in terms of name recognition, I don't know if that's been a good thing or a bad thing.
I really appreciate you coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Ziggy.
It's been a pleasure learning just about your life, understanding, your journey, where you're at today, finances, prosperity, success.
Yep.
I love hearing about all these things. So, but thank you for allocating your time, and all the best to you at 3AW and your future and all any plans for anything going forward? I mean, as long as you can.
At the moment, again, I wish I was a lot more motivated than I am. But at the moment, I'm just absolutely loving doing the radio show after 7 years of overnights, which was a great show to do. It's just the hours are very kind of unfriendly in terms of family life. But you talk about success. I work with great people. I love going to work every day. I know very few people who can say that. So I get on the train in the morning, I have a whole routine, and I go and I work with great people. I love what I do, and then I come home and then I get to do it again the next day, and I get paid for that. And so, if you talk about, let's say the intangibles of what success is, you can point to a car or a house, and that's all well and good, but you may have earned both of those doing a job that is crushing you.
Yes.
I'm quite the opposite. I love going to work, and I'm really lucky. So, that to me, it's finally dawned on me that yes, that is a success. And I come home to a wife and children, and I've got a great house in a nice part of town, and a dog and a child with a snake that's just joined us.
Right.
So So the home's interesting.
I don't know that there's much more that you could add to that.
No, I don't think there is either. So thank you for the opportunity, Ziggy.
Thank you, mate.
Really enjoyed it.
Appreciate it. On that note, what a great note to finish off. Thank you.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate. I love it.